Well, happy Thanksgiving and welcome into another edition of Talkin Ducks. Jordan Kent alongside Aaron Fentress, George Wrighster. And guys, before we get to anything, what is the number one item on your plate here this Turkey Day?
Ooh.
For
me,
it is a curveball. First pitch curveball.
It is my smoked turkey. So, yes, because I just took both of my turkeys out of the brine right now. They've been in the brine since Sunday, and this brine is very detailed. It's got oranges, apples, lemons, cloves,
Greens,
sugar,
beans, potatoes,
salt,
hams, yams,
apple cider. It is an incredible turkey that I smoke. If I like, it is I make proteins very, very well, but it's probably my signature piece, even over my ribs, which are spectacular.
I'm
come on over.
I must have lost my invitation somewhere.
I got
George.
40 people at my house. And there are people who are like, yo, I don't really do turkey. It's dry and this, and they taste it and they're like, oh, what? I've never had this before.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
For me, it's just turkey and gravy, man. That's my go-to.
No sides, just
cranberry
turkey gravy.
stuffing stuff. Like,
okay, don't mess around with it.
We make our own cranberry, and we make our own cranberry sauce, which my daughter is in charge of this year. I finally have released the cranberry sauce. I gave her the recipe for it. So yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, speaking of smoked turkey, Oregon smoked USC the other day. And I see what I did there. It's a little transition. But what a big win for the Ducks. This was a team, obviously, Aaron, that people wondered had they faced a true challenge outside of Indiana all season. And they go on the road, defeat Iowa in a very close game. Not an easy place to play, of course. And then you have USC coming into town. And this was a huge game for the Trojans, Aaron. They essentially would have been a lock for the playoff if they win this game. This was their playoff game in a sense, USC. And for Lincoln Riley, probably the biggest game for him at SC. They come into Eugene, and Oregon put on a clinic in a lot of ways as well, too. Just your thoughts as you finally saw the Ducks take care of another ranked opponent this year.
Yeah, that was 2 of the last 3 wins were big wins against good competition. Teams that had they beat Oregon would have made leaps up in the standings. They couldn't quite pull it off. And I was most impressed with the Ducks' ability to shut down that run game of USC's, which is pretty good. 190 yards per game, held them to 52. That changed the complexion of the game for USC offensively. And of course, I think we all believed that Oregon was going to do pretty much whatever it wanted to do offensively. And it did, but the ability to shut down that run was impressive. And yeah, they needed another win like that because their resume hasn't looked that great because of what happened with Penn State. But you beat Iowa, you beat USC, that sort of solidifies you as a legitimate 10-1 team, one that people really can't poke too many holes at. I mean, you can a little bit, but not very many because of those 2 big wins.
Yeah, George, what was your takeaway? Because for the most part, Oregon was in control for most of this game.
Yeah. Aaron, do you remember what song was played a lot during the game?
No, I wasn't listening to the soundtrack. My bad.
Come on, man. You got to have some situational awareness. No. I
don't know why I'm doing this.
They could be down 50 and they keep playing it. But They Not Like Us. They Not Like Us.
Did they play that a lot?
They
I didn't
did.
know this.
Yeah.
Did they? Okay.
Jordan, was he not there?
I guess he wasn't there apparently. How do you not hear that, Aaron? How do you not hear that during the game?
I wear headphones a lot.
Okay.
And I watched the broadcast while I'm watching the game, so I didn't catch it. But go ahead.
Aaron, right. I was not even at the game, and I knew that.
My bad.
But George, to your point,
that was my takeaway: is that they're not like us.
They're not.
They are a good football program. Historically, we have to put that historically on there.
They're still good. Stop.
No, Oregon and USC are not on the same level right now. Football program.
No, I know. I just said USC is still good.
Yeah. No. Okay. They're still okay. They're a good program. Oregon is an elite program right now, and they're trying to be an elite program, and they and reading their message boards and stuff, they believe they're closer than they really are. But it comes down to, for me, is that football, at some point in time, you got to be able to run through somebody's face.
Yeah.
And they don't have the level of physicality. And a lot of it has to do with Lincoln Riley's offense, because everything is like, hey, yo, there's a pink elephant. And then they're trying to go over there instead of like everything is trickeration or like gimmicky. And sometimes you just got to be like, hey, yo, A gap runs coming.
So you're saying USC, their offense is more like stuffing with cranberry sauce, all the trimmings, whereas Oregon is just well-cooked smoked turkey right in that A gap, right in your face, and that's what we saw on display here.
Yes, yeah, and if you watch Oregon play, there are some sides. Like they'll throw some wrinkles at you every now and then, but the majority of it is, here we are, come get us.
Here, let me bring up something real quick. So I'm going back. I'm looking at USC back when they had Pete Carroll, right? And we all remember Reggie Bush and Lendale White. Who were they running behind? A really good offensive line, right? We're just setting everything else up for Matt Leinart. This one year right here in the NFL draft, they had 2 defensive tackles taken in the same draft, first and second round. This is coming off of a national championship. So, and then there's a bunch of linemen who got drafted in around that time. So Lincoln Riley, to me, is a guy who likes, I've seen this with offensive coordinators before, they like to draw stuff on the board. It looks great. We're going to run this, and we're going to do that, we're going to bunch, and then we're going to shift, and we're going to do all these cute little things. And he gets quarterbacks, and he gets receivers who can do all that stuff, and it looks great. But at the end of the day, anyone who's played football or coached football knows that if you do all those things, they don't matter if you're getting controlled at the line of scrimmage. And what he needs to do is stop running around stealing people's quarterbacks and getting transfer portal receivers and 4- and 5-star receivers and put all their money into the trenches first and then build out. You can always find receivers. You can, like, Oregon's probably had 34-star receivers in the last 10 years. And about 8 of them were good, if that. They're all over the place. And quarterbacks are, like, right now, USC can go out at any point and buy a good quarterback somewhere. So don't worry about that. Get those 4- and 5-star D linemen, stack them up, have them compete, and make sure you don't allow Oregon to just run right through you, right? Make sure that you don't rush for 52 yards, you rush for 152 yards, and that game's a different game. But the bottom line is Dan Lanning thinks like that. Mario Cristobal thought like that. And that's why those teams, under those 2, were tougher and grittier and got it done in the trenches, whereas USC, it's the same old story. We got fancy receivers. We can run all this stuff. We can do all these things. We can throw for 300 yards, but we're going to rush for 52, which is going to put my quarterback in a 3rd and 13 pick and a 4th and 10 pick. And then you're out of the game. So props to Oregon and Lanning with Aaron, what they do, and USC needs to learn from what the Ducks are doing.
100% right, Aaron. And then the other part is, can you look at this USC offense and at the end of the game be like, yo, that was great offense? You can't, because number one, they couldn't run the football like Aaron said. And then the second thing is they're just chucking the ball up. Like, these aren't even like great passes. These are hero plays and defensive.
Go ahead.
And defensive pass interference. Yeah, I'm saying like you can't say, oh, we came out here and we hit slants, we hit curls, we hit outs, we hit comebacks. Like you can't say that they did all of that. It was just, oh, pressure. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes, he caught it. Oh my God, there's a flag. Good. Okay, good.
Yeah,
100%.
Aaron, it's almost as if you're saying Southern California is style and not substance. I've never heard of that description of Southern California before in my life. Geographically,
since Pete Carroll left, yeah. Because Pete Carroll came from the NFL, he came from New England and the Jets, where he knew.
Oh, I remember
how
Aaron
to play hard-nosed football, and that's what he did with Seattle, right?
Yep.
Marshawn Lynch, that offensive line, the defense, one of the greatest defenses of all time. That's how he won a Super Bowl. That's how he won national titles. USC coaches since then, they don't seem to buy into that, and it's costing them, especially in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Especially in the Big Ten.
You're right. I mean, and George can tell you as well, too.
But here's the thing is, USC is spending money in NIL, and they're actually spending it in the trenches, too. But they signed a guy like Jakeem Stewart, who was going to come to Oregon, and then they offered him over $2 million a year to go there.
Good Lord.
And he goes to USC, and Oregon's like, okay, for $2 million, we can get Mateo and Tatum Tuioti and a piece of something else. Like and just a fraction of, and then like a quarter of another player. So you're sitting here saying, like, how can you, like, it just doesn't make sense, because yes, Jakeem Stewart he might turn out to be a very good player, but there is a big difference in, like, defensive linemen don't play the entire game. So you have to have depth at that position. And if you're spending so much on one dude, then yes, you're not going to have much behind it. And I saw Aaron balk at these numbers.
No, I'm not balking. I'm just shocked. Every time I hear it,
it's crazy.
Taking me time to adjust.
It's
taking me time to adjust. $2 million for a quarterback, I've accepted. $2 million for a defensive tackle, that takes a little time for me to digest. That's all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm with you.
That's that Jordan Kemp money, man. That's that Jordan Kemp money.
See, it's actually a good question. Would my dad have spent a dime on NIL with me if I was playing for him? I'm going to say that's a hard no. All right. Well, let's
He'd let you take the card.
What?
Right?
Your dad? Wait, hold on. Time the hell out. So
here we
me
go.
spending a lot of time with Ernie Kent. Bro, there is no chance that he would not have given you.
No, his argument would have been like, I've been paying you NIL since you were 5, basically.
Yeah.
You know, now it's time for you to free up the bankroll for the rest of the players so I could go get myself another.
Would you have
forward.
driven up? Would you have run a hard line with him and the school, being that you were running track, playing football, and man, hell no, they would have had to pay me. I'm doing 3 things for you. I need my cash.
But I did them like average, you know what I mean? I wasn't like an ace in anything. So I guess the question is,
it doesn't matter. You were doing 3 things, so you deserve. Even if you were doing 3 things average,
20 years too early.
3 things average is at least, in this day
I always say
age, you could have got
3
$250 for football, $250 for track, and then another $250 for basketball.
I was freeing up scholarships too. That was the best part. Is basketball then had a free scholarship, track had a free one. So anyway, we digress. Nobody wants to hear about my.
Did you say 20 years ago?
20 years ago, if I was born 2005, Aaron, I was on the sidelines, and you had money on me that I was going to possibly make the team or get a look at by an NFL roster, which I hope you made some money on, by the way.
I made like $15 off 15 people. I have 15 bragging rights, so that's all right.
And there you go.
Go ahead. Let's move on.
Either way, you talk about NIL and all this stuff in the new era of college football. Well, you have the college football playoff, and boy, oh boy, do we have a meaty matchup in the first round if everything holds to form. Mario Cristobal and number 11 Miami going all the way across the continent to the Northwest to take on the former team that he coached, the Oregon Ducks, at Autzen Stadium. Aaron, you talked about it. This was the number 1 matchup you were hoping for, and I'm sure you're praying that it plays out this way.
Dude, I would fly to L.A. tomorrow, eat up George's turkey, smack him in the face, let him whoop my ass to see this matchup happen. Because this would be just epic. Like the drama, the storylines behind it would just be amazing. And I don't think it would be as much about Lanning. Like, Lanning has nothing to do with the Mario.
This is not about Lanning. This is Cristobal coming in.
Other than the fact that people trash Mario to prop up Lanning. But Mario left. And so that would be a big thing with the fan base, clearly. Be a big thing for Mario to come back and try and beat the team that he left, to try and maybe justify that a little bit. Because if you come back and lose to Oregon, it makes it look a little weird that didn't work out that way like you hoped it would so far in Miami. But it would just be amazing. I love, any journalist will tell you they root for the storyline. Mm-hmm. And that would be the premier storyline of all storylines. Please, Lord, let it happen, but I don't think it's going to.
Why not? What do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
Because I don't think Miami's going to win the ACC. So
okay.
So, Jordan, you know why he deep down really wants this even more, right?
Oh, God, here we go. Why? Why?
Tell him, Aaron. Tell him who your favorite team is.
Who's your favorite
Everyone
team?
knows I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. You follow me, you watch me, I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. But that has nothing to do with this. If Mario had gone to...
So we're going to have to check underneath his head when he's sitting up there with his headphones on. We got to check underneath his shirt because he's going to have a U under his shirt.
Of course. Listen, I will be straight up Homer that week. I'm not even gonna lie. I guess not Homer since I didn't go there, but I will be definitely wearing Miami Hurricanes on my sleeve. So it's just going to be how it's going to be. But I just don't think it's going to happen, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, will be interesting. But Oregon moving up to number 6.
Listen, if we go to the playoffs, I will be up there at the game. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Jordan.
No, you're good.
But if and especially if it is Miami, instead of standing on the field, I will sit next to Aaron, because in the press box, it's supposed to be a quiet, non-biased place. I'll be sitting over there next to him like...
No, I covered a Bears-Seahawks game. I wore a Chicago Bears t-shirt underneath my shirt and tie. And Grossman throws a pick late in the game to seal the win for the Seahawks. And I go, geez, Rex. And the guy next to me goes, are you a Bears fan? And I go, yeah. He goes, wow, you kept that hidden for 3.5 hours. Congratulations. I go, thank you. So I can be professional. But after the game, if Miami wins,
you couldn't keep it hidden sitting next to me.
For the whole game, I will. But after the game, when Miami wins, then I'm going to be talking.
Right. Talking all that mess.
You're going to cry when you get in the car.
But I think the fact that Oregon moved up to 6, it goes to show you how much of a cushion they have. And Aaron, is there a small chance that, depending on the carnage that might happen over the next couple of weeks, Oregon could possibly slide into one of the top 4 spots potentially?
Only if they get into the conference championship game and win the conference title. I can't see how they get. I don't know. I guess it's possible they could get into the top 4 without doing that. But, unless they do that,
there's actually a very easy path, Aaron.
Is there?
Very
we
easy.
Disagree on this, but go ahead.
No, hold on.
Break it down.
Okay, because it depends on. So the first thing is Texas Tech loses in the Big 12 championship. That's the first scenario, okay? And then the second scenario, so that'll get you up to 5, okay? And then you have
Georgia, Texas A&M, right? Are playing each other potentially, and whoever loses would drop out of that, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
so,
you need Georgia,
so there is
Georgia
a
lose
reason.
Georgia Tech. Yeah. Right?
No.
Georgia would play Texas A&M in the title game, correct, Aaron?
All right, go ahead, George.
Yeah, and so wouldn't the loser of that drop out of the top 4 if Oregon's number 5?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's a very realistic path. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's not with it. It's not one of those far-fetched things. I think that has a better chance of happening than Miami ended up in the ACC championship
and let me ask
game.
you this.
Okay.
Hold on. What if Indiana beats Ohio State, becomes the number 1 team, and now
That's
Oregon's
another.
only loss is to the number 1 team in the nation?
You can't justify that. How can you justify dropping a team that loses the conference championship game to a top 4 team?
I'm not saying you drop Ohio State out of the top 4, but
hold on. Yeah. Here is the issue with Ohio State's schedule. Is that they've only played. This Michigan team will be Texas.
Oh no, I'm on this, George. We just talked about this on a segment. The only team in the top 6 of the Big Ten that Ohio State has played this year is Washington. After that, Michigan will be the next best opponent they have played in the Big Ten this year. They did not play Iowa. They did not play USC. Yeah. They've not played Oregon. They've not played Indiana. So they have not played any of the top 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten this year. That's the one thing that's interesting about Ohio State. So
okay, all I'm going to say is that I'm not saying it won't happen because, playoff committee is going to do what it's going to do. But I'm completely against the idea that a team ranked in the top 4 or anywhere really plays an extra game because they're in the conference championship, loses that game, and then falls behind a team that didn't have to play in that game. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, if Georgia beats Georgia Tech and loses to A&M, even though it has 2 losses, I'm not dropping it below Oregon because Oregon didn't have to play that game or a game comparable to that at the end of the season. Like, that's completely unfair to me, my sensibilities, but I guess anything's possible.
The only thing I would argue with that, Aaron, the only thing I would argue with that is Oregon and Ohio State will have a common opponent in Indiana. Now, the difference being Oregon hosted Indiana. Not saying this is going to happen. What if Indiana beats Ohio State by 3 scores? How do you then evaluate Oregon and Ohio State since they have one common opponent and 1 loss on the year?
Again, they had to play an extra game. Like, that right there, it shouldn't hurt you to play that extra game whether you lose or not. That's the thing. It shouldn't be beneficial to sit at home and wait. That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't for Oregon last year.
But so I would generally agree with that, Aaron, but with the conferences being so big now and You have the SEC having 16 teams and only playing 8 conference games. The Big
Right.
Ten having 18 and playing 9. Like you can only play half the conference, so like you honestly don't even get a true full sense of everything because Texas A&M, which people are oogling over, they haven't played any of the top 7 teams in the SEC,
There you go.
Yeah, it's crazy.
and their defense, and their pass defense and their run. Like when you look at their total defense, they're they're in the bottom third in the country of defense.
Okay.
Yep. So
All right.
that's what we have
Next
a committee
topic.
for. We'll see. But let's get to Oregon's next game here because this is no cakewalk for the Ducks either. You're going up to Seattle to take on the Huskies. The Huskies have been much more formidable this year. This is going to be a challenge for Oregon. I put this kind of in the same category as going on the road to take on Iowa. It's a bit of a trap game in a sense. What do you make of this matchup, Aaron? What are the key things you're looking at first?
I was surprised when I saw it was a 7-point line, but then I looked deeper into Washington, and I think you can sort of see why. They have a good defense. They're playing at home.
Yeah.
Yes, their offense has struggled in their big games. I mean, they didn't look good against Michigan. They didn't look good against Ohio State. Oh my God, at Wisconsin was just dreadful as well. But they do play good defense. They only allowed 2 teams to get over 300 yards against them. That was Ohio State. And though Rutgers kind of lit them up a little bit offensively, but couldn't really score. So I can see why this is going to be, or could be a close game. But I really just don't see how Oregon loses this. I think their offense is going to get going regardless of how good UW's defense is. And I just don't buy for a second that UW's defense, which struggled against Michigan, struggled against Ohio State, struggled at Wisconsin, is going to all of a sudden just come together against the Ducks the way the Ducks are playing on defense. And I see them maybe scoring 17 points, if that, and the Ducks clearing 20 easily. So I kind of have the Ducks winning by about 10.
George, what do you think?
First of all, number 1, Huck the Fuskies.
Wow.
Number 2, I got the Ducks winning by 2 touchdowns. But there is a path where this game is close because their offense is predicated upon Damon Williams being able to get some space and being able to, pick up some first downs with his legs. Last year he picked up a couple, but he got sacked 10 times.
Sacked 10.
And yes.
Yeah.
And teams
crazy.
have been doing a very good job of getting the ball out quick against this Ducks team. That's why the sack numbers are down this year. They're making a concerted effort. And their time to throw is lower than what their average time to throw is when they play Oregon. So they're doing things to make sure that they don't get sacks. So keeping Damon Williams in the pocket, making sure he can't jitterbug and run all over the place is going to be the key to stopping this offense. Because until last week at UCLA, when Muhammad ran for 100 yards, they hadn't had either Jonah Coleman or Muhammad or the little young kid that's been playing run for over 100 yards since the UC Davis game, week 2.
Yeah. The bottom line is if your quarterback's, and he's good, we all know that, but if he's special to the point where he can avoid being had like Oregon did last year, and I think Mateo, Tatum, and Bryce accounted for 5 of those sacks. Of course, they're all back. If you're losing to Michigan, Ohio State, and Wisconsin, you're losing 33-30, right? 34-27. You're not scoring 7, 6, and 10. And that's my problem with Washington's offense. So all of a sudden, you're going to magically figure out how to score a bunch of points to beat an Oregon team, which I think is going to score. An Oregon team that kind of has your number and what your quarterback does. I just don't see it. It just doesn't make any sense. So I agree with you. That's the path, but Oregon's been there, done that. They know how to deal with this kid, and other teams have done it as well this season. So I just don't buy it.
Well,
sorry, Huskies. I want to say one thing real quick. Props to Dan Lanning for one of the coldest lines I've ever heard a coach say. You're wearing black because you're going to a Trojan funeral. I just have to throw that out there. I mean, I heard that. Now, I retweeted it with the Friday characters going, damn, because that was my thought when I heard it. I was like, damn, that's cold.
Hey, like
so
you said, Matt
great
Leinart, Reggie Bush, they weren't walking through those doors, and Oregon made it.
Yeah, that was a great one, too.
No, listen, the man's got some gold right there, and it's nice to get a little sneak peek of that. But it's still another test for Oregon, and I'll close with this here, George. Last thought from you. For the Ducks mentally, knowing that you go up to Seattle, you take care of business, season's done until the playoff. You're most likely going to have a home playoff game. Mentally, what is that like for Oregon to sort of have that extended break for a second? It felt like last year, obviously, you go into the Big Ten title game. There's a lot of pressure with being number one overall, and you're just sitting there and waiting to see what's going to happen. Do you think this is a beneficial scenario for Oregon to roll into it this way? I know you might have the extra game in the playoff, but the fact that you can win now and then have your next game be a home game, how does that feel for Oregon?
Well, I mean, maybe, right? Because Michigan has beat Ohio State the last 4 times, so we can't discount that. And if Michigan wins, and Oregon wins, then we go to the Big Ten championship. But let's assume that Ohio State wins. To answer your question quickly, this is the team last year and the coaching staff, I believe, learned a lot from the long layoff and how the team impacted and responded. But I actually am going to enjoy and be thankful for all of this time, for whichever way, because you're going to get some time off. And then guess what? You get healthy. You might get DeCorian Moore back. You might get Gary Bryant Jr. back. The defense will be fine as long as Dan stops having them juggle chainsaws at practice, clearly.
I love it. Well, hey, fellas, happy Thanksgiving. Always a pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you for tuning in. Thanks for checking in on us during that extended break, but we're back, and we're excited to be here once again. Oregon versus Washington, no love lost. We'll break that game down and possibly preview a Big Ten championship game or learn more about what this playoff bracket will look like. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you next time.